And excuse me. Welcome to another edition of middle school football. This is the middle school championship. I'm one of your announcers, Bishop Dunn. Alongside me, I have EJ. So EJ, I want to ask you, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's the championship right here. So everybody's been waiting for. Crittenden undefeated. Ella Fitzgerald trying to get revenge from last year. It's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, Ella Fitzgerald, coming off a strong victory last Saturday against Huntington when they beat the Vikings 62-0.
Mm.
So, hey, I know Ella Fitzgerald wants their championship that they didn't get last year because that last second of Hail Mary by Roderick Perry.
hmm
So it's gonna be a good game, and I can't wait to see it.
The Ella Fitzgerald looking for revenge from last year. They made a statement game, dropping 62. So they're looking to make another statement game right here against the undefeated Crittenden Cougars.
Yeah, and the guy that got to stop from the Crittenden is number 4, Avion Sneed. He's gonna be one of the key factors for this Crittenden offense. So, EJ, I want to ask you, what do you think are the key factors for Ella Fitzgerald to stop him?
One, sending pressure, pursuing to the ball, and make sure every player is assigned to a certain run gap and run fit.
Ooh.
As you see, they put them everywhere around the field, running back, wide receiver, it doesn't matter. So they're gonna have to find ways and adjust to each position he plays.
Yeah. And Ella Fitzgerald started off strong with that kickoff. That was number 6, Jeremiah Williams. So we see this Ella Fitzgerald offense come on the field. Like I said, they're just fresh off of scoring 62 points, 62-0 at that. It's the Huntington Vikings. Seven 2-point conversions.
Yeah, 7 is crazy. It sound like Madden right there.
Yeah, but I say so now. It's there. This high-power offense is looking to get out to a strong start. As see, Crittenden blitzes. They did a little quarterback sneak, and he's tackled. Like the person on the tackle was number 44. And that was Malik Redden. Oh, there's a flag on the field for holding. That's going to push Ella Fitzgerald back. That's going to push Ella Fitzgerald back. You don't want to start off first play of the game with a holding.
Yeah, definitely. But right there for Ella Fitzgerald, they're trying to establish a run game at least, having 2 extra tackles or 2 extra blockers on the side, kind of like wing T a little bit, and trying to establish it and punish them with power.
Yeah, I seen that Crittenden came with a blitz there. I feel like that's going to be a key thing this whole game. Both teams blitzing, both teams trying to stop the opposing run game. See, like I said, number 4, he's going to be all over the field. So Ella Fitzgerald, they're gonna have to do a great job with stopping him and get him to the ground. I think they probably teach this week was gang tackle, like everybody to the ball.
Yeah, all hats to the football, especially by the defensive coach, and making sure he bring him down.
Yeah. Number 2 for the snap, Xavier Wyatt. Oh, they get the ball to number 5, and that's Shaheem Twitty for a nice gain of about 14.
Yeah, it looked like he blasted off a canyon out of the cannon right here, attacking inside the C gap through B gap, and getting almost to the first down. I want to say.
Yeah, say both teams are very run oriented. So, but don't be surprised if they do pull out a pass. But that was a great run by Shaheem Twitty, number 5. Looks like Crittenden might be going for a little blitz here. They hand the ball off back to Shaheem Twitty. And there's another flag on the field as Shaheem Twitty was, like I said, gang tackled by the Crittenden Cougars.
Probably another holding. That's what it looks like.
2 holdings back to back if this does come out as a holding. Yep. Holding on the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz.
Yeah, right there. That's discipline right there. You have to not get out of your edge right there. You gotta get out of your character. And I know the coach has been preaching that the whole week for both sides of the ball, but especially for the linemen, you gotta maintain your technique and just keep pushing.
Yeah, you don't want to stall your momentum in these drives, because it's going to be a very high-paced, very bruising game. As you see the Crittenden Cougars look to blitz. Oh, number 7 fumbles the snap. He's looking to make something shake, but doesn't. He's tackled by number 7 for the Crittenden Cougars.
Yeah, that was a good defensive rep right there by Crittenden. Able to, like we said earlier, get all hats to the football. As soon as the snap was botched by the QB, and he had to freestyle on his own, and they made him pay for that.
Yeah, Crittenden's taking advantage of those 2 holding penalties. We seen number 5 Shaheem Twitty, get a good game for the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz, but just that was all for naught as another holding penalty had came. As Ella Fitzgerald lines for snap, they hand the ball off, and look like he's tackled by a bunch of Crittenden Cougars there.
Yeah, it looked like he saw the open gap, but it was quickly closed down by the linebackers and DBs. And that's a great run pursuit right there by Crittenden as it's now 4th down.
Yep, looks like they may be going for it.
Or they being aggressive?
Say, that's what it looks like. I don't know. I'm going for it. It being 4th and about 6, 7. So it's kind of an aggressive move, but we'll see how it turns out. Or no, it looks like they're punting the ball. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do a fake punt.
Nah, I would say it's too early to do that. I feel like they're gonna probably establish something else.
Timeout by the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. That's it. I wouldn't be surprised. They might try to catch them off guard. A little fake punt, roll out to the outside.
I feel like they had to get a little bit closer for that. It's 4th down and 12, and they're trying to start the game smart and safe. Because they defense also has to get on the field. Ella Fitzgerald, we have to see Crittenden's offense before we can start, jumping to conclusions and starting off aggressive. We gotta calm down a little bit.
Yeah, so it is a timeout by the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. Crittenden comes in here undefeated. They're looking to keep that undefeated streak alive with a victory here today. This is the second Virginia Middle School Championship. Like I said, last year was 110 versus Ella Fitzgerald, but Ella Fitzgerald came up short in the final few seconds, so they're looking to beat this Crittenden team. It looks like Ella Fitzgerald is lining up for the punt.
You sure?
I don't know. I mean, the way
look like they going for it.
Yeah, line up for the punt.
Let's
see. That's a
short little punt.
Oh, looks like Ella Fitzgerald gets the ball back as number 5 for the Crittenden Cougars fumbles the ball and gives Ella Fitzgerald the ball back with great field position.
Yeah, Crittenden said they was not prepared for that, and it looked like they botched the catch, and that was great special teams right there by Ella Fitzgerald, able to recover and get that ball back for the offense.
Yeah, now Ella Fitzgerald has the ball in a great position here. All they have to do is keep playing their offense that got them there. As there's a timeout by the Crittenden Cougars. That was a great punt,
Yeah, it was a little short, but it got to the person and he botched it, and that was great recovery by the wide receiver DB right there stopping it.
So you got to know in those situations where if you can't catch it, just let it go out of bounds. Would have gave the Crittenden Cougars the offense the ball, but now you're helping Ella Fitzgerald in a great field position on the Crittenden's 40-yard line. And you have to see what Ella Fitzgerald can do here. Got to stop the holding penalties to be able to push the ball, push the pace down the field. As Ella Fitzgerald is getting ready for the snap. I see. There has been a lot of blitzing by the Crittenden Cougars this drive, and it looks like that's not going to stop there.
Yeah, they're preparing for the run game. That's look like it's going to be a tush push. Look like.
Oh, there's a flag on the field for false start. That's what it appears. Oh, never mind. It's an encroachment by the defense. Can't have it. You line so many people in the box. You gotta be aware of where the line of scrimmage is. Can't go over the nose of the football, and that's what the Crittenden Cougars did there.
Yeah, that was straight discipline right there. Or lack of discipline. Forcing the guys off sides and forcing a bad ball. Oh my God!
Oh, first down by the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. This number 2 is Xavier Wyatt. They did a little QB sneak there.
Yeah.
That gave them about I want to say 7.
Yeah, normally teams would do it in a short distance term, but they did it first down and 10.
Yeah. Well, no, it won't. It was like 1st and 5. 'Cause they got that.
Oh yeah, 1st and 5. That's even crazier. Right?
That is. I say that's a good play calling by this Ella Fitzgerald coach. He knows what he's doing. This is his 2nd year in this championship, so he's prepared. He's ready. As they're doing another QB sneak, and he's number 2 Xavier Wyatt. He's not getting the amount of yards as he did last time. Looks like a little scuffle. This is what you love to see. Competitiveness from a young age. You play football because football is a very competitive sport. You want to see this type of competitiveness and the ability to compete.
Yeah, that's really what it's all about, especially for middle school, is establishing that competitiveness, that competitive drive, the spirit. And Ella Fitzgerald right now is trying to show their dominance and show power as they just keep shoving it in them.
Yeah. See, Ella Fitzgerald's doing a great job keeping the ball away from this Cougar offense. They're running these QB sneaks to try to counteract the blitz going on by the Crittenden Cougars. But I say a play that could work for this Ella Fitzgerald Jazz is that maybe fake the sneak and have a little stretch to the outside, because I don't think the Crittenden Cougars will be expecting it by the way that they're blitzing.
Yeah, Crittenden is starting to blitz the A gap completely, and right there they read it and they shut it down. So I feel like if they do a fake out of it, or a fake little play action pass, or a stretch wide right or wide left, I feel like that will work also.
As number 2 Xavier White hands the ball off to number 5 Shaheem Twitty. Go for a gain of about 4 there. Looks like it'll be 4th and 1. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ella Fitzgerald goes for it here. This is a very C game. They see lines outside. It's a little like a long line outside. To come see this middle school championship.
Yeah, it's the biggest game in middle school, and it's football. It's football in springtime. Everybody loves that. Oh, they did a read option.
Oh, but it looks like he may have gotten the first down. They gonna measure the sticks here. Oh, first down by the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz.
Yeah, that was tremendous effort right there by the QB. I want to say his name
is Xavier Wyatt.
Yeah, Xavier Wyatt. That was great effort right there. Able to reach outside, break off the tackle, and also good play call right there. They was expecting a handoff, but they did a read option. I would like.
Yeah, I say he just out muscled number 3 for the Crittenden Cougars, Zamir Ellie. He out muscled him and was able to get the first down. As we see, the Jazz are lining up for the 1st and 10. See, they hand the ball back off to Shaheem Twitty. Oh no, it's a read option. And Xavier Wyatt may have gotten a touchdown. That was a good play. He faked me out.
Yeah, it looked like a Jalen Hurts type read option where it looked like he let off the block, and then he just kept going. He went straight instead of going to the left. So that was a great play call again by that, and great effort by the QB for Ella Fitzgerald.
Where I say, yeah, I mean that's a great read option. That's something you see like in high school, like college.
Yeah, he faked you out completely though. Like.
yeah, like. I was looking at number 5. I don't think he had the ball. They said, no, I turned number 2, making something happen in the open field. So that's a great play call by the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. They've been able to keep push the pace in this game. Keeping Crittenden off for the first quarter as much as they can, as it's 2 minutes and 8 seconds left of the first quarter. So we have to see what this Crittenden Cougar offense can do, and they try to two-point conversion that doesn't work. That was number 7. Caleb Wiggins trying to make something happen for the Crittenden Cougars, but it looks like number 7, Jair Richardson with the stop.
Yeah, and see, one key thing about that drive was it was no pass plays at all. It was all on the ground, all trying to establish the ground game, trying to establish dominance right there, especially. Great drive right there by Ella Fitzgerald, and I can't wait to see how Crittenden is going to come back from that. That is now 6-0.
So yeah, I think this is going to be one of the best games so far in this middle school season. You know, just the dominance of both teams. You know, they both coming out here. It's going to be a dog fight for sure, but I feel like this has a chance of being one of the best games so far this season.
Do you think it has a chance of being better than the championship last year?
I mean, I don't know. I had to see it. You know, that championship last year. You know, it ended on a great note for the Huntington Vikings, but you know, I just got to see it. You know, like the excitement was there. So as the game goes on, you know, we'll see. As Ella Fitzgerald is lining up for the kickoff. Looks like a stoppage in play here.
No, you gotta get him lined up.
Yeah. Now, one thing about Crittenden, they also have that run game too. So expect not a lot of passes from them. Also, probably you're not even gonna see a pass from them till they second drive, unless it's a third down or fourth down and long.
As Ella Fitzgerald kicks the ball. It was brought in by the Crittenden Cougars. Oh, he's immediately he may have fumbled.
Nah, he got it. He kept it.
Oh, it looked like he may have fumbled there. You know, the ball looked a little loose. Great recovery by the Crittenden Cougars. Now we see this Cougar offense. You know, the big player to watch in this Cougar offense is number 4, Avion Sneed. So, I want to ask you, what do you think for the Crittenden Cougars in their first drive of this game? What do you think they will do to get the ball in the hands of Avion Sneed?
Well, one, as a team, they need to not panic. I mean, they down 6-0, but it's still the first quarter. You have a lot of time remaining. Stick true to what they are. Stick true to what you've been established this whole year. You know, the run game and the quick little bombs. So I feel like they're going to give him the ball any chance they get. As right there. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, there he go.
First play touchdown.
Nah, hold on. Hey, scratch what I just said. They need to give him the ball all the time. Hold on.
He is a bruising running back, you know. First play touchdown.
Yeah, right there. They had him in like little pistol formation. I had him right behind him, and QB 3 steps behind the center. Gave a direct snap, not a direct snap, but quarterback hand him off the ball, kind of like a halfback dive, and he just ran through the B gap, broke 2 tackles, and he was off. That was Adrian Peterson-esque.
That was Adrian Peterson-esque, you know. You know, soon as he got the ball, made the first person shake, you know. He made the first person shake, and he went off to the races.
As they're also going for 2.
When they get here, they may be doing a pass here. Looks like try to get him on a little window route, but couldn't get number 8 the ball. That's great defense to stop the 2-point conversion. It's 6-6 in the first quarter with 1:43 left. You know, we're here in John B. Todd Stadium. This game is surprisingly a good one so far to start off.
Yeah, right there, Crittenden. Again, they didn't care about them being down 6-0. They struck right back first play. So that's really a statement right there. As you saw how hard it took Ella Fitzgerald to get one touchdown, and then you see Crittenden get the ball, and they instantly scored first play. So I feel that was really good. So that kind of puts pressure back on the Fitzgerald, Ella Fitzgerald, and I want to see how they react.
Yeah. So, this Ella Fitzgerald offense, you got to see what they do. They may be trying to waste down a clock, trying to keep the Cougar offense off the field. As you see, when the Cougar offense is on the field, that happens. That one play run by Avion Sneed. So just had to see what this Ella Fitzgerald offense is ready to do, is willing to do. As we see, the Cougars are getting ready for the kickoff.
I don't think they're going to change their formula at all, as they should. They should stick to the run game. It's been kind of dominating factor so far, getting the defense tired and them just punishing them on the ground.
As the Cougars line up for the snap, it's number 11. The Cougars line up for the kickoff, It's number 11. Aiden Stewart is getting ready to kick the ball off. I wonder if we will see a field goal this game.
You probably will. Not a lot of field goals because both teams like to be aggressive and they like to do them 2-point conversions. So we're not going to see a lot of that.
There's a flag on the field. This could be costly. As it looks like. Gotta see what they call. It looks like a face mask on the Cougars. That could be a little costly there. Setting Ella Fitzgerald up near the 50-yard line. I wonder, will we see Ella Fitzgerald pass this drive?
If it's a second down, third down and long, we might see it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they stick to the same formula as they should. It's been working for them, and it's really been it's really gonna help them throughout this game.
Yeah. As you see, they don't have the Cougars don't have number 4 Avion Sneed on the field. Ella Fitzgerald's lined up for the snap. Oh, looks like it could be false start, but we'll see here. Yep, false start on the Jazz.
And that's their third penalty on the offensive line, and that's not a good look, especially for the future of this game, as they've had the most fouls, had the most penalties, as now that's 3 for them. So they got to be careful with that. They got to stay disciplined.
Yes, 3. It's their offensive line has been a little jumpy. Like you said, 3 flags on that offensive line. Can't have that if you want to stay in this game.
It possibly could just be first quarter jitters too.
Yeah. Oh, looks like a little swing pass. The number 5, Shaheem Twitty, and a great play call by the Jazz.
Yeah, they first pass attempt was a little halfback swing, 2 lead blockers up front, and that was a good play call to not make it second down and short.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz here go for their patented QB sneak that we seen last drive.
Hey, if they could do it on a first down and 5, they most definitely can do it on a second down and 1.
As Xavier Wright hands the ball off. Oh, this Cougar defense may have. I don't think he got the first down there. They kind of met him at the line. And all hats to the football for the Crittenden Cougars.
Yeah, that was a great run pursuit right there. All gaps were filled by Crittenden, and a good way to force a third down and 1.
Yeah. As that wraps up the first quarter in this middle school championship game, 6-6 tie game. Ella Fitzgerald has the ball. You know, we're here at John B. Todd Stadium. You know, this looks like this is gonna be a good game. Can't wait to see how it goes. So I'm willing. I think we might see another little a big run for the Crittenden Cougars, number 4, Avion Sneed.
Yeah, he definitely shook me right there. I was thinking they were going to ease him in. They wasn't going to instantly give him the ball, but they gave it to the ball first play, and he found the gap, and he just took off. So that was really a great play by him, and I'm really interested to see how Ella Fitzgerald is going to play this second half or this second quarter.
Yeah, like I say that was crazy. You know, he had great blocks on that too. Like I seen it, like it's just a wide open hole, and he just hit it and gone. Like that was great. That was great to see. You know, but as you see, the Jazz are lining up for 3rd and 1.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a read option right here, possibly.
A little QB draw, and he gets the first down to Xavier Wyatt. You know, him and Shaheem Twitty looks like to be Jazz's weapons here. You know, they're both pounding the rock, both doing what they have to do for this football team to start off the game. You know, and it does look like there's an injured player on the field. Hope he's okay.
Yeah, for Ella Fitzgerald, the quarterback has been kind of the deciding factor for this game for them. They've been getting the chunk of their yards on the first drive, and on this drive, they've helped them out, especially with that 3rd down and 1. He's been getting the tough yards, the short distance yards. He's been doing it all for them so far.
Yeah, you know, he looks like he's going to have a great future. You know, especially for high school. You know, look whoever school he decides to go to. You know, it looks like he could be the future of their program at quarterback. You know, he's doing a great job with calling plays. You know, making things happen with his legs.
Yeah, I wonder how he's gonna react when it's time to pass. When it's 3rd down and long, 2nd down and long, and I know they're gonna have probably some flood concepts for him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably get some slants going for him. So just for the pass game to work and keep it going.
Yeah, you know, but I say we haven't really seen none of these players really haven't seen none of these quarterbacks really pass yet. You know, well, we did see the Crittenden quarterback pass in that 2-point conversion, but I do, like you said, I do want to see when it's like 3rd and long and stuff like that. See how is the accuracy going to be? You know, because that's not a lot. That's not what you see a lot for these games. You know, you do see a lot of ground and pound on the field. So I do want to see how the pass game works.
Yeah, and it looked like they didn't give him the first down. It's 4th down and 1.
It is 4th and 1. I thought he did get the first down there, you know, but it looked like they're gonna hit a little tush push, you know, little NFL play, right? You know, they try to ban the tush push for this upcoming season, but it didn't work.
Yeah, 10 teams stopped it. So
As it looked like there's a sideline warning. So yeah, Ella Fitzgerald line up for the little QB tush push, and he's gonna get the first down. You know, Ella Fitzgerald, they've been doing a great job with the tush push. You know, look like the Eagles. No, not even the Eagles. Look like the Bills when they do the tush push.
yeah,
Their version of the tush push.
yeah. Instead of just pushing directly from his back, they just getting from the sides, and he's been getting decent yards from that. And what I also really love is how both crowds are in it. Both crowds you've been hearing both sides. When Ella Fitzgerald do something good, you hear their side. When Crittenden do something good, they hear their side. I like that.
Yeah, that's good for the players. Their families are here, and it looks like there are a lot of people in this crowd, and a lot of people still coming in. That's the thing about football in this area. You know, football brings a lot of people together in this area. People love seeing football being played. You know, as there's a penalty against the Crittenden Cougars, but like I said, it's great to see. Great to see the community coming out supporting these players.
Yeah, especially because these kids are going to be the future for these high schools, these Newport News high schools, possibly Hampton high schools if some of them do go to Hampton schools. But yeah, these kids are the future, so you definitely got to support them.
As Ella Fitzgerald lines up, hands the ball off to Shaheem Twitty. Ooh, he bowls over number 46 of the Cougars to get a gain of about 8. We seen Shaheem Twitty last year in this championship game. He's looking to get his first middle school ring, you could say.
Yeah, they handed him the ball straight up, and then he just took off. So that was a nice run play by him.
Fumble. Crittenden has the ball. That was number 7 who fumbled. Caleb Wiggins.
Yeah, right. They got away from Twitty, and I feel like that was a bad decision right there because he was on a groove. He got them that first down, and right there, they gave it to the other running back, and he made a costly mistake, giving Crittenden back the momentum and possibly for them to get a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, you got to be able to hold on to the ball there. There was nobody near him as well, so just dropping that football just hurts the drive, hurts the momentum. But you got to be able to come back on defense and be able to at least put up a stop. As Crittenden is getting ready for their first play of the second quarter. We've seen them go out here on their last drive, a little one-play drive. See what they do here as they hand the ball off to Avion Sneed, and great tackle by the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz.
Yeah, both DN and D tackles for Ella Fitzgerald got off their blocks and instantly met them at the line. So that was a great block shed by them.
Yeah, like you said, great block shed. Great run recognition. Meet them in a hole, and hold them up for your other players to get there. It's a second down and about 9. 2nd and 9 here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a pass here,
Yeah, they got 2 wide receivers both sides. So, and it looked like that was what it was going to be.
Yeah. As there's a flag on the field. Could be offsides. Oh, no, never mind. Encroachment by the defense. Can't have that, especially in this magnitude. These penalties for Ella Fitzgerald are counting up. They're giving the Crittenden Cougars yards here.
Yeah, and it's been a very penalty heavy game. Both teams combined for 8 penalties so far. So it's been pretty heavy with that.
I see the crowd, I see crowd out here supporting these middle school players. It's great to see as the Crittenden Cougars are looking set up for their second play of this drive, as the last play was stopped because of a penalty. For the Crittenden Cougars head coach, this is his first middle school championship game. As for the Ella Fitzgerald coaches, this is his second middle school championship game. They're both coaches are calling great plays for their team. So it's all gonna be about who wants it more. As we're waiting for the referees whistle. as Crittenden looks like they put forward in motion. Oh, that could have been a big play if he was able to connect to number 5 there. No, number 3, excuse me. That would have been maybe a touchdown.
Yeah, right there, Crittenden tried to use number 4 as a decoy, and that was supposed to set up the pass play right there. And I feel like that was a missed opportunity. We could have definitely would have been in a great position to score if he would have caught that, or if that pass would have been completed.
And that's the first pass of this game. You know, this game has been very run oriented so far. You know, first pass. You know, first pass could have been a big play. Got to see what Crittenden does here. As they line up for the snap, it's 3rd and 5. Oh, drops back. Oh, looks like a little QB draw. Oh, and he gets the first down. That's number 2.
Oh, we got flags.
Zakari Meredith, and it looks like there's a flag on the field. That could be costly. 48 looks to may have cost his team that first down.
Yeah, that's very costly right there. That's, again, a lack of discipline right here, as Crittenden has been having a lot of penalties, and it's really been hurting them in certain instances.
Yeah, you know, both teams have been building up the penalties. Got to be able to keep your composure, you know. That's one thing you got to be is discipline. Like you've been saying a lot, you know, discipline is a key factor. So can't be undisciplined in this game.
Yeah, and keeping your emotions in check is also another value of the game, as you have to maintain that and also not let the other team get in your head, and you got to definitely keep it pushing.
Yeah, you know, that sets back the Cougars here. It's gonna be first. In about like, I want to say first in about like 15.
And the first down is at the 42.
Oh, never mind, 1st and 10. Excuse me. You know, it got to be. I thought the ball would go back a little bit further, but you know, 1st and 10 for the Cougars.
Nah, but that QB run, that set them up almost midfield, if not at midfield, though.
They had a 5-yard penalty before.
So,
Yeah. And it's look like number 15 is out there at running back for the Cougars. You know, gotta maybe expect a blitz here. You know, I see number 3 creeping up. Yep, the blitz. Yeah. Oh, what a pass to get it number 5. First down. Oh, that's a great pitch and catch by the Cougars, as there's another flag on the field. 2 flags.
and I feel like they're going to call that on Ella Fitzgerald for the unnecessary roughness on the sideline. And for the pass right there, it was a good drop back, able to analyze the blitz. They blitzed all their linebackers through all the gaps. And good way to hit the curl route to the wide receiver and make it to the first down. That was a good play.
Yeah, that was number 5, Jamari Hardy on the catch. And able to get a first down for the Crittenden Cougars. And there's a flag on the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. You know, can't have that. Excuse me. Can't have that in this game. You know, the flags have been piling up.
And that flag is really costly for Ella Fitzgerald, because that puts Crittenden all the way past midfield to about the 35. Almost the 35, if not the 35. First down, they give it to the running back, but it's quickly stopped by Ella Fitzgerald. Their D tackles were able to swarm and get to him and wrap up.
Yeah, great tackle by the Jazz there. As looks like it'll be 2nd and 10 here on the Fitzgerald, Ella Fitzgerald's 35-yard line. And the Crittenden try to put up their second score of the game before halftime. Trying to keep their momentum as they do go in the second half. As Crittenden lines up for the snap. Oh, look like there's a penalty, another penalty. False start on the Crittenden Cougars.
Yeah, both teams getting a lot with these penalties. I think now they tie each other now, which it's over 10, both sides combined. So both teams gotta relax, and I feel like it's going back to the discipline part with the false starts, especially with the offensive linemen. Both teams, when it comes to either encroachment, false start, offsides, both teams got to establish something else.
Yeah, can't have all these penalties, especially in this big championship game. It could hurt. It could hurt you in the long run. As Crittenden is looking to set up for their snap, as now 2nd and 15.
There's also a lot of emotion in this game. Also, it's both teams' final game of the season. This is the final game of the middle school season in general. Yeah. So,
the second season of this middle school football league in Virginia.
And also, they just got another penalty that sent them back even more.
I missed it. I didn't know what it was. I think it was
second and
false start or legal participation.
See, 2nd and 20. Now, Crittenden has a long way to go. As number 2 takes snap. Oh, he's pressured. And he's tackled by a bunch of Ella Fitzgerald. Oh, looks like there's a fumble.
They got him down.
Okay, he was down before he lost the ball. Number 2 for the Crittenden Cougars, Zakari Meredith was tackled by a bunch of Ella Fitzgerald Jazz there.
Yeah, it looked like a design QB run play right there, QB draw. Try to get all the receivers out and trips left. And right there, Ella Fitzgerald realized that as soon as number 2 went back and took off for the run. And there was great pursuit right there by Ella Fitzgerald's defense and good way to force a 3rd down.
Yes, this could be a great thing. Well, this is a great thing for the Jazz here, because if you're able to stop them right now, it's like there's another flag on the field. But if you're able to stop them right now,
Legal procedure.
looks like that would be on the Crittenden Cougars. But like I was saying, if you're able to stop the Cougars right now, if you're the Jazz, you could possibly set yourself up for to be on the Cougars' side of the field when you get the ball back on offense.
Yeah, and the Cougars are really hurting themselves right now with a lot of these penalties, as they desperately need this timeout that they just took, as they need to rally the troops and figure out what's going on with their offensive linemen and their players, as there's a lot of miscommunication going on.
Yes, to say this is the middle school championship. You gotta know that this is you have to be disciplined. Too many flags. This is I think it was 3-4 flags back to back to back to back. You can't have that in this championship. You got to be able to push the ball down the field and score.
And it's also not helping with their main identity. Their identity is running the ball. And being in these long distance downs is really hurting them, as they need to run the ball to establish something, as Ella Fitzgerald is now definitely expecting either a pass or probably a screen to get a run after catch situation.
I say you probably can run prevent. little 3-man deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a deciding factor of the rest of this second quarter here. if the Cougars are not able to at least set themselves up in a decent position for them to, oh, as he is hit soon as he caught the ball, number 7, Caleb Wiggins, on that tackle. He had that fumble
Timeout, Elephants.
as a timeout for the Jazz, but he was the one that gave the Cougars the football. But to be the ender of this Cougar drive with that big hit, that's a great play by Caleb Wiggins, number 7.
Yeah, the QB hit the out route in the slot, trying to hindering through a run after catch situation, but nice tackle right there, nice wrap up by Ella Fitzgerald, defender, and that was a great way to establish that drive and possibly bring the momentum back to Ella Fitzgerald's side.
And now we have to see what the Cougars are wanting to do here. You could punt the football, but question is, how far would the punt go?
I say if they can punt it at least to the 30 or the 25, I feel like that would be a good punt for them.
But it looks like it just could possibly be a punt here. But I don't know. It looks like they're maybe going for it. Just looking at the way this formation is. Oh, looks like they're going. As there's another flag on the false start on the Cougars. That is very costly. Now you're back on your side of the field, and if Ella Fitzgerald gets a tackle here to stop you for a gain of no yards or a tackle for loss or maybe like a gain of 2, that's helping them out with the remaining time on the clock.
Yeah, they definitely need to punt the ball right here. It's almost 4th down and 30, and they definitely need a good punt. As right now they're playing out of their element right now. They're playing at their head they're playing out their head right now as they're still going for it.
Oh, that's a big run, but it's all for naught. Is that a? They may have thrown a flag. I'm seeing things fly on the field there. Yep, there is a flag on the field. And if that's on the Cougars, that can cost them more yardage.
I feel like at halftime, the Cougars really need to relax and calm down and get their emotions straight, especially if they want to win this football game.
For sure. As the referees are discussing it, if this a flag, I don't know. I think it's maybe. Well, they talk to the coaches here. I'm looking to see what the flag is, but I don't know yet. As the Jazz offense is getting ready to go on the field, that was a good run by. Excuse me. I was looking at it looks like it may have been a necessary roughness there. But yes, like I was saying, that has been a costly drive for the Cougars. A lot of flags, a lot of penalties, but a great run to try to at least get them some yards. I would have punted it there, but they decided to go for it and run for it. So now the Jazz are getting ready for their drive. They're probably maybe try to get a score here.
Timeout, Crittenden.
Yeah, as there's 1 minute and 27 seconds remaining, we'll be surprised we see a lot of quick passes to, do a lot of run after catch situations, get a little slant, and run up field. Expect a lot of those situations.
Yeah, we have yet to see a pass for the Jazz. This could be a drive where we could see it, or maybe they stick to what they know. Excuse me. Maybe they stick to what they know and their read options and QB draws and sneaks and handing the ball off. This drive, like you said, it's a minute 20 seconds left. Minute 27 seconds left. You have to push the ball down the field here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if the quarterback doesn't touch the ball on all the plays. Whether it's a run play or they let it decide on him when it's a pass play.
You may see a little long bomb here. I wouldn't be surprised. As number 2, Xavier Wyatt is looking for the snap. Oh, it looks like it's a high snap. Oh, good thing he's able to get the ball, but there's a flag on the field. It's just been flag after flag. That was a high snap, though. Could have been costly for the Jazz if they would have had a turnover there. They may be picking up the flag. No, never mind. Holding on the Jazz. They're declining it. This is going to be second and 17. That can't have that here.
Yeah, that botch snap almost turned the ties completely to Crittenden's side, as that could have put Crittenden at all the way at the almost at the 10-yard line. But good way to recover it back and prevent them from getting the ball back.
Have to see what the Jazz look to do here. I expect a pass here. Oh no, they run the ball. Xavier Wyatt gets a good gain of about 5. Set up for a 3rd and 12. This Jazz offense, they keep running the ball, but with 55 seconds left in a ticking clock, you have to expect them to throw it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're intimidated by the time, and they're still sticking to their roots.
And, Xavier Wyatt looks like a high. Couldn't get it to number 22 as it tips off his fingers. There's 34 seconds left in this game. 4th and 12.
Yeah, right here, I kind of want to see when Crittenden gets the ball back, if they're gonna do a couple deep shots, or they're gonna continue with the run game to see if their running back number 4 can pick up some yards for that.
Yeah, it's like there's a timeout.
Picked up your last timeout.
Timeout for the Jazz. I want to see if the Jazz may go for it here. They may go for it, in a running and run the ball like they've been doing the whole game. But the first pass of the game, was a little bit too high out of reach for number 22. But you gotta be able to keep passing it there.
Yeah, right. I feel like when halftime starts, I feel like both teams definitely need a reset when it comes to their emotions and how disciplined they gotta be, especially Crittenden, because that whole drive could have been some if it wasn't for the penalties and the mistakes and the combination of different emotions coming together and kind of conflicting with each other.
Yeah, both teams have been penalized a lot in this game. As we've seen for the Cougars, it's been flag after flag after flag after flag their whole drive. Ella Fitzgerald started their drive off with a flag. So, like you said, have to talk about discipline here. Have to get your kids' emotions in check to still have a fighting chance in this game. As they punt the ball here, ball goes out of bounds at about the 41. For the Cougars, what do you expect to see the Cougars to do in these last 28 seconds of the second quarter?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a screen slant, or possibly a go route, because their receivers have the height to go for a go route and get a chance to maul somebody. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just 28 seconds left on the clock. They just probably gonna hand it off to their running back and see what he can do, make a play.
And I expect them to run the ball here. 28 seconds. It may be a little risky to throw it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do throw it. But I do expect them to run the ball here. as Crittenden looking to line up here for their snap, trying to at least get another touchdown before the second half. Drop back. Oh, looks like a little blitz. And number 2 is wrapped up by a bunch of Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. Number 75 was there first, Kanari Carrollton, and that's a great blitz by the Jazz.
Yeah, that's kind of been the key for both defenses. They've been just blitzing their linebackers and filling in the gaps, as they both know that each other, that they both run the ball heavy, and they like to use power. So I feel like that was a great analyst right there by the defense.
And that wraps up the first half of this middle school championship game. It's 6-6 tie score here. We're going into halftime. This is gonna be a make or break second half here when we come back. But I am Bishop. Alongside me is EJ Jones, and we'll see y'all after this halftime. And welcome back to John B. Todd Stadium. We're here for the second half of this middle school championship. We have Ella Fitzgerald and Crittenden. Tie game going into this second half. What are the key factors for both teams to get to jump out to an early head start in the second half?
Well, one, I feel like it's the motion side of it, the penalties, discipline. Because the last half, it was a lot of penalties, a lot of offsides, definitely with the offensive linemen. So I feel like with this half, I feel like if both teams can calm down, they both know what they're going to do on both sides of the football. So I feel like if they counteract with each other and the emotions are keep straight, I feel like they're going to be straight for both sides.
Yeah. As we see, the Jazz are lining up to kick the ball off to the Cougars to start off the second half here. Oh, that's a good kick. Unless it go out of bounds, and that'll be a flag should come out here. Oh, never mind. That would be the flag for a free kick out of bounds. Set him up on a 35, but it looks like they may not do that for middle school.
Yeah, I was expecting a flag too.
Yeah, a key factor, I believe, for this Cougar offense, is number 2, Zachary Meredith. I do think he's going to be one of the key factors, especially since number 4, Avion Sneed, looks to be out for an injury. So this is going to be good to see, Zachary, and the backup number 15 for the Cougars. But this Fitzgerald Jazz defense has been playing great defense so far in this game.
Yeah, no, both teams have kind of been the same recently. They offensively they both run the ball heavy, and defensively they both been blitz heavy. Especially defensively, they've been attacking all the gaps, making sure no run play goes inside the A gap, B gap, or even C gap. And I feel like that's really going to be the key to the game is how they're going to stop that and how they're going to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, and there was a flag on the Cougars to start off the game. That's something we've been seeing happen for the Cougars in the first half as a blitz. Oh, Zachary Meredith. A great game for the first down. First down by the Crittenden Cougars.
Yeah, right there. Looked like a read option right there. He was able to get slither past the defender, trying to arm tackle him. And a great play right there by number 2 for Crittenden.
Yeah, he was able to drive the ball down the field, very physical to get them that first down as we see a little substitution happen for the Cougars, But the Jazz, they sent like an all-out blitz there, but just wasn't able to get number 2 Zachary Meredith down. That's something you want to see from these kids here today, their competitive drive. And that's what number 2 Zachary Meredith showed today, Wherever high school he plays are going to are getting a dog as a 9th grader. As number 4, Avion Sneed stopped in the backfield by looks like number 4 for the Jazz. That's Tyquan Tucker.
Yeah, they try to give it to number 4, the running back. He's still a little bit injured, still a little bit limping. But good defensive play call right there by Huntington, able to read exactly what who was going to get the ball. They ran that play multiple times. So I feel like Huntington is doing good in play recognition.
Man, so you say you mean Ella Fitzgerald?
Oh, yeah, my fault. Oh, my bad, Ella Fitzgerald.
Nah, I got you. I understand, that Wildcat formation run that the Cougars run, that's something they've been doing all season, and great job for the Jazz to stop it. As Zachary Meredith hands the ball off to number 4, Avion Sneed. He looks to have a big run here. Oh, he gets the first down, but looks like he may be injured. He just got back. He just got back in the game. He looked to took a hard tackle there. That was a great run.
Yeah, that was able to read the blocks, running up the middle, and that was a really good run right there. But he took a hard fall, tried to leap. So yeah, he took a very hard fall right there.
He looks to he's walking off the field. That's a great sign. He looks to be good. I think. I believe we could see him back on the field to play. Hopefully it's nothing bad. But you don't want to see that in the middle school championship game. As we see, number 15 is back on the field to replace Avion Sneed. Yeah. That all falls back on Zakari Meredith's shoulders. He's a big play factor for this Cougar offense. As he's a quarterback, he could do it both with his legs and with his arm. So we have to see what he can do to help out the team as they hand the ball off. Oh, that's number 48 on the tackle. That being Nathaniel Morris. That's his first tackle of the game. And that's great to see,
Yeah, that was a huge impact play right there. Able to do a tackle for a loss, read the blocker. A nice little play recognition right there.
Where he looked like he ready for high school football,
Yeah, he look kind of huge.
Or I say like a grade. He'll whatever high school he's planning to go to. I don't know what grade he's in, but if he's an 8th grader, I say whatever high school he's going to, they in good hands. I say I seen him tackle like a pro move right there, little pro move.
Yeah, great play right there by 48.
As 48 almost got another tackle, but that's Zakari Meredith making things happen with his legs.
Yeah, and one thing about Crittenden, their play calls are starting to get a little predictable as when it comes to dropping back, it's just been the QB draw. It hasn't really been any passing plays.
Yeah,
so they've been sticking to the QB draw.
I say, when you lose a weapon like Avion Sneed, number 4, you gotta rely on the rest of your players, but Zakari Meredith has been doing a great job of keeping this team alive. If I'm the Jazz, you have to be able to wrap up and tackle. You've been able to get in the backfield and touch Zakari Meredith, number 2, but you had to be able to bring him down. They got those 2 big D linemen with Nathaniel Morris, number 48, and number 75, Kanari Carrollton. Gotta be able to bring him down. As like maybe a false start on the Crittenden Cougars.
And that kind of goes back to what they was doing in the second quarter, as there was a lot of a lot of penalties being called on them, on their offensive linemen. So they just got to maintain with their emotions. Oh, they called that on the defense actually. So again, that still goes to what I said about the emotions part, and hopefully the coaches talk to them about that in halftime.
Yeah, that's something you can't have. You got to be able to slow down those penalties. Penalties has been a major factor in this game because every play, it looks like every play there's a flag. But we see number 4, Avion Sneed, comes back in the game. Look like he lined up in like a tight end position. Like he's a bull back here, I kind of expect a little sweep to him though. Like
I don't know, cause Ella Fitzgerald kind of had that same action too with the bull back, and then letting either QB or the running back run the ball.
Yeah, so as they did there, they let the quarterback Zakari Meredith run the ball, but it looks there's another flag on the field.
At some point, the refs gotta let the kids play a little bit, cause it's the final game of the season, and they gotta ease up a little bit.
Yeah, every play it seems like there's a flag. Like you said, you gotta let the kids play. It's gonna be physical. Mm-hmm. But you just can't be calling these flags. As there's a flag on the Jazz. There's their second flag in 2 plays. But yeah, you gotta let these kids play. You can't always have your hand on the flag. You gotta let the kids be kids. but this helps the Cougars field position as they go a little further up on the field. You know, the Cougars are looking to do what the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz did in the first quarter. You know, run the clock out. You know, give the Jazz the football when it's about 2 minutes, 1 minute left in the third quarter. Give them little time to react.
Yeah. The Cougars also been chewing the clock. They haven't had Ella Fitzgerald hasn't had the chance to touch the ball at all this quarter yet. It's only 3 minutes remaining.
So yeah, you know, wasting the clock, bringing the clock down is very helpful for this. Oh, as number 11, we have a good game, but there's another flag on the field.
Yeah, they've been calling it consecutively now, just like the second quarter. But it hasn't been on Crittenden though. Let's see if this one's on Crittenden.
See. Well, like back to the chewing the clock. You know, yes, they have been chewing the clock. It's a very great play calling by the Cougars here. Try to give the ball to the Jazz with little time left. You know, give it to them a little time left. Kind of make them panic a little because, you know, if the Cougars do end up with a score here, you'll be getting the Jazz little time to work with. You know, but we still have a whole nother quarter. As it looks like there's a timeout by the Jazz.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like Crittenden's having a good drive though. Even though the penalties on the other side have been helping, I feel like Crittenden's have had a really good drive, getting able to drain the clock, wear down the defense with their zone running scheme and a little bit of power. And I feel like they're doing a really good job.
And, you know, great job wasting out the clock, like has been saying here. You know, it looked like the Jazz called a timeout to try to let their players breathe a little, give them some water. You know, this has been a very grueling drive here. You know, especially with the flags, giving the Cougars more yards. But yeah, gotta get these kids some water. You know, they may be a little tired, trying to tire the defense. You know, especially because some of these players play both sides. So gotta be able to give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah. And that's one of the differences between, you know, playing regular football in the fall and winter time compared to playing fall and the spring. As the sun's gonna be out, it's gonna be very humid, very hot, and conditioning is gonna be a very huge factor for both teams.
Yeah, you know, this is a very beautiful day. Out here in John B. Todd Stadium. You know, there's a lot of people in the crowds. As number 2, Zachary Merida drops back, throws the ball. Oh! Would have been a great catch by number 8, Damari Walker, if he was able to haul that in, you know.
Yeah, quarterback, he kind of put too much power on it. He had the open man. That would have been the first passing touchdown of the game. But it was a missed opportunity right there by Crittenden.
I say but you gotta, you know, as a receiver, you're taught, you know, if you get your hands on the football, you gotta be able to catch it. He just wasn't able to catch it there. But like you say, it was a little bit too much power. You know, if you added just a little more touch of air, he's walking in the end zone.
Yeah, that one right there, he could have caught that. It was tough. But I feel like if he possibly would have tried 2 hands, that would have probably worked.
Yeah. As number 2, Zachary Meredith rolls out, throws it. Oh, he drops the interception. Number 1 there, Jabari Jackson was able to break up the pass.
That one could have been very costly for Crittenden. That could have been an interception. But that was good, regardless by Ella Fitzgerald realizing the offensive play call and making a stop right there.
Yeah, if he was able to pick that ball off there, he could have been off to the races.
Yeah, he had a lot of space right there. That would have been crazy if he would have got that.
Yeah, as see the Cougars are going for it here. Well, never mind. Excuse me. It's only 3rd down and 10. You know, you have to go for it. Yeah. I thought it was 4th down, but these flags, you know, kind of messed me up a little bit. But I expect another long bomb by the Cougars, but there's a timeout by the Cougars. I expect another deep pass here. I say watch out for number 5 on the outside. He could be a big target for a fade route on this possession.
Yeah, one thing I haven't seen though from either team is a screenplay. I was expecting a little bit more, especially if they want to get their receivers the ball and make them work in space. But I wouldn't be surprised if the fourth quarter or even this play right here, they're gonna start doing it more.
Yeah, that could maybe be the next play that they do here. A little screen route. Yeah, these are two very run-oriented teams. Seeing these teams pass is kind of a little rare, but we will see what the Cougars do here as number 2 Zakari Meredith lines up for the snap as we wait for the referee's whistle. Drops back, throws to number 1 deep. Oh! Number 3, Zaire Nelms on the pass breakup. He could have had an interception.
Yeah, the ball kind of led to the DB right there, and the wide receiver had to reach out, use his wingspan to get it. But nice defense right there by number 3 for Ellis Fitzgerald.
That's two drop interceptions for the Jazz. If you catch that there, you set your team up at the 20, but that's a great momentum booster for your team.
Yeah, both teams have been kind of missing opportunities for a chance for them to go up a score. So,
as we see, the Cougars are going for it here. Watch out for number 4, Avion Sneed. He may be a pass target here. Throws a little flat. But it's quickly tackled by number 1, Jabari Jackson, as the Jazz are set up at the 20-yard line. There's a flag on the field. Great defense by the Jazz. Soon as he touched the ball, they were immediately on that.
Yeah, that was great play recognition by Ellis Fitzgerald, especially number 1, able to see who caught the ball and then definitely wrapped up. That was a nice play.
We had to see what this flag is on. If it's on the Jazz, that could push them back. If it's on the Cougars, that could push the Jazz forward as they set up for offense. As we're looking, the referees are discussing the flag. Looks like it's on the Jazz, which pushes them back. It may be a redo 4th down here. I did see the referee hold his fist up.
Yeah, another missed opportunity right there by the Jazz. Could have had a chance to put their offense on the field for the first time in the third quarter.
Now you're allowing Crittenden. It's about fourth and about 6, and Crittenden they're run oriented, so I wouldn't be surprised if they hand the ball off here on this 4th and 6.
Yeah, they got you. I feel like this is a time where you might give it to your best player right here in this key moment.
If I'm the Jazz, maybe send a blitz here because what's coming up next from this Cougar offense.
Yeah, and the blitz has been working not only for Ellis Fitzgerald but also Crittenden, as they both fill in the gaps and get a chance to attack the run.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of blitzing from the Jazz this drive, but the Cougars have been able to break off those tackles. We've seen Zakari Meredith do that twice on his running plays. Able to break off those tackles. Looks like they're playing the Jazz, maybe playing number 48 Nathaniel Morris there. He looks like he's lined up in the 3 tech. From the Jazz, you know, I put Morris in the 0 tech. Have him try to beat the center over top. As Meredith runs the ball. And they get a first down, maybe a touchdown. Or did he not get the first down?
I'd say it looked like he got it. Looked like he had enough yards for it.
See, that's what I was thinking. It's first and goal for the Cougars. You know, that penalty by the Jazz was very hurtful in the long run, because now it's first and goal for the Cougars. You know that they were going to run, and they're going to run right here.
Yeah. I feel like Fitzgerald, they was anticipating a run up the gut or up the B gap. Like they did a QB stretch and let number 4 be the lead blocker. That was a nice play call.
As a little QB draw. As number 2 Zachary Meredith scores for the Crittenden Cougars, and you know the Cougars could be going for 2 here to try to make the score of 14-6.
Yeah, that was a great play call again by the offense coordinator or head coach. It would instead, they had the same concept. They had the lead blocker going out, but instead the quarterback took a QB blast and went through to the A gap. So that was a nice anticipation right there by the QB for Crittenden.
Yeah, you know they're going for the 2, trying to make the game 14-6 here. You know, if the Jazz are able to stop them, you know, you'll only be down by 6 points. You know, make the score 12-12. You know, they drop back, throws it. Oh, could have been another interception on that 2-point conversion. You know, if he would have caught that pick, I think he would have been gone. You know.
Yeah. I kind of questioned what the offensive coordinator was doing right there, because number 3 was limping. He has been limping for the past 4 plays, so it kind of confused me why they would still draw up a play for him.
Yeah, you know, I'm also surprised that they didn't run the ball on the 2-point conversions. You know, the running the ball has been working this whole game, so why not run the ball on these 2-point conversions?
Yeah, that also confused me too.
It's a minute 46 left in the third quarter. The Cougars are up 12-6 on the Jazz. You know, the Jazz are lined up for the return. This will be their first possession of the third quarter. You have to think, what they do, what are they going to do? What are they going to do when they get the ball? Do you think they're going to try to waste out the clock like the Cougars did, or try to get for a high-paced drive to hurry up and score here?
Well, when it comes to them running the ball is always going to lead to bleeding out the clock. So I feel like that's probably going to be their game plan also. I don't think they should really change it up anyway, because it's been working. The only thing that's been holding both teams back, honestly, is the penalties and their emotions.
I agree with you. We're waiting for the Cougars kick here. You know, the Jazz have been very good on these kick returns. You know, they've been able to get yards. That's number 7, Caleb Matthews, looking to make something happen. Oh, he runs somebody over. They're down at the 45.
Yeah, that was a good return. They're able to go to the other side of the field and get a nice turn and put the offense in a decent field position.
Yeah, now the Jazz offense are on the field for the first time in this third quarter. They're looking to match the touchdown that was scored by the Cougars. You know, this is the middle school championship game. Anything can happen. Oh, it looks like they're lining number 2. Their quarterback number 2, Xavier Wyatt, at wide receiver. Could be a little wildcat going on here. I would expect like maybe a little double pass.
Oh, no, they're going up the gut. They're going up the gut.
Oh shit! Is that? Oh, fumble by Caleb Matthews. No, Caleb Wiggins, excuse me. And that could be very costly in this game. As we see, there's a Crittenden Cougar hurt on the field. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, right there. That was a big play right there by Crittenden, able to see the Wildcat. I thought the Wildcat was going to probably get them almost to the first down for Ella Fitzgerald, but that was a nice strip by the Cougars, and that really set some momentum all the way to the Cougar side.
But I say, yeah, that was a great run by the Jazz, but he just lost the football there. That's his second fumble of the game, and you just can't have that. You're trying to match the score, trying to tie the game up, but just the fumble there, that was big. You have to hope that this Cougar offense doesn't score here and that the Jazz defense are able to put a stop. But the penalties and the run of the football for the Cougars have been hurting the Jazz.
Yeah, and also Crittenden, the way Crittenden's offense has been going, they might not see the football again until the fourth quarter.
Most likely. Maybe not even see it till about a minute 50 left of the fourth quarter. The way this been going, the Cougars wasted out mainly 7 minutes of the third quarter here, and like you said, just them running the ball, bleeding out the clock.
Yeah, it's a very efficient game plan for them to do, especially when they keep driving and they keep going forward and forward on the field. So that's a great play right there by the Crittenden Cougars, and a good way to possibly end off this third quarter.
Yes. As you see, Zakari Meredith, a read option, but it's stopped in the backfield by the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. As I think there may have been number 44, Octavius Bowens, with the tackle.
Yeah, they wanted to do another QB read option, and they read it, and they read what was going to happen with the blocks. So that was a nice analysis of the offense or of the defense by the Ella Fitzgerald defender.
And that now the Cougars are back a little bit more, back 7 yards now as it's 2nd and 17. Gotta think, what do they do here? They might throw the ball, but seeing how the Cougars been playing all game, I expect a run here.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they had the lead, and I don't think they should instantly pass the ball, even though they do have trips to the left. I feel like, I stand corrected, they might throw the ball.
But those balls, Avion Sneed may score here, but there is a flag on the field. If it's holding on the Cougars, that could set them back even more.
That would be very costly for the Cougars too, because that was a nice way to improvise, give the ball to the running back, and let him work in space.
Yeah. That was a great check down by number 2, Zakari Meredith. Looking, he almost was sacked there, but was able to dump the ball off. So we have to see what this flag is about. Looks like it may be a hold against the Crittenden Cougars. But yeah, this is the end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter is about to start. Crittenden has the ball. So we seen Crittenden hold the ball for majority of the second half. So EJ, I want to ask you, do you think what do you think the Jazz should do here to be able to get the ball back and possibly win this game?
Well, force a 4 and out right here, and then after that, use their own formula against them. Use the formula and drain out the clock, and also protect the ball Give it to your most trusted ball handlers, or your ball carriers, and I feel like that would be a good formula to at least tie this game up.
As number 2, Zakari Bear, draws back, looks to overthrow number 3. But there's another flag on the field, maybe on the Jazz for roughing the passer. We'll see here.
They've been flying them every play.
Yes, flags have been hurting the Jazz so far in the second half, and we have to see what will happen here. Looks like we're still in the third quarter. But it is almost the end. Can't end a quarter off on a flag.
They definitely can't, especially not a roughing the passer, because a roughing the passer could possibly give them enough edge for a first down or majority of the first down.
Yeah. The Jazz. Looks like there's a flag on the Jazz for, again, roughing the passer, which brings the Cougars to about 1st and 10 here, maybe. Can't have that. I think the roughing passer, automatic first down. Cannot have that if you're the Jazz. Flags have been your enemies for this whole game, and just not what you want to see.
Yeah, that was very detrimental to the Ella Fitzgerald right there. They could have had that stop right there to possibly put them in a chance to get the momentum back and get a chance to score.
The middle school championship trophy is ready for whoever wins this game today, as it's a great fumble. Could be the Jazz. That's what the Jazz needed.
Yeah, that was a great gang tackle right there by Ella Fitzgerald, attacking his legs and then somebody getting up top and stripping him before he hit the ground. That was a great, not even great, that was an excellent defensive play right there by Ella Fitzgerald.
It's excellent play. Now, the Jazz have the football on the Crittenden Cougars 40-yard line. So now you have to see what happens now in this game.
Yeah, as it's now, now it's the end of the third quarter and getting ready for the fourth quarter. And I feel like this is perfect timing for Ella Fitzgerald to score, make a play, and then get one more stop and possibly take the lead and take control in this game.
Yes, you have to be able to hold the football, stop the penalties, and score. The first 2, hold the football and stop the penalties, that has not been what the Jazz has been able to do this in the game. They have not been able to contain the football, as we've seen in that last drive with the fumble, but you also have to stop the penalties because the Jazz have been penalized the most in this whole football game. So you got to see what you can do here in the fourth quarter. Have to be able to score, have to be able to put up a touchdown to still have a fighting chance in this game.
And I feel like what Crittenden also needs to do for their defense to give it back to the offense is they need to force another turnover. Ella Fitzgerald has been prone in this game for turnovers when it comes to their ball carriers. They fumbled 3 times, and they also had a couple botched snaps. So I feel like they could force them into another mistake that could lead the game back in Crittenden's hands.
Yes. As the Jazz looks to set up for the first play of this fourth quarter. Snap to Xavier Wyatt. He looks to run the ball here, but is immediately tackled by number 8 for the Crittenden Cougars. That's Damari Walker.
Yeah, that was a great sack right there. He tried to escape a pocket after nobody was open, and that was a great way to collapse it and attack his legs by Crittenden.
Excuse me, that was not number 8, Damari Walker. That was number 9, Kyle Jelani Bowden. That was a great tackle, Xavier Wyatt, number 2 for the Jazz, was not able to find anybody, tried to run the ball, but couldn't get it there. And as they hand the ball off to Shaheem Twitty, he looks for a big run and a first down by the Jazz.
That was a great run right there. Able to dodge a couple of tacklers and get to the outside, which has been his favorite spot so far. He's always had a keen attacking the outside and attacking the C-gap.
Yeah. For both teams, the quarterback running back duo has been their main game for this entire game. As we see for the Crittenden Cougars is Zachary Meredith and Avion Sneed, and for the Jazz has been Xavier Wyatt and Shaheem Twitty as they get the ball back to Twitty. Oh, Twitty fights for another first down, but there's a flag on the field.
Yeah, now they're trying to ground and pound. Now they're trying to bleed the clock, even though he tends to keeps going out of bounds. But that's been good that they haven't changed their identity and what they are.
I say Twitty has been a main factor in this fourth quarter so far. He's been putting up big bruising runs. You have to see what this flag is on, though. If it's on the Jazz, it could possibly hurt them. Looks like helmet-to-helmet contact on the Crittenden Cougars, which sets up the Jazz for a great field position in the red zone on the 10-yard line. I think it looks like they're setting up for that QB sneak. Try to get a first down, but I think they should fake the sneak, hand the ball off to Twitty on the outside. That could possibly be a touchdown.
Yeah, the Crittenden has seen them do the QB sneak or the tush push a couple times now. So I feel like they need to possibly change it up and catch them off guard with it.
Oh, yeah, it looks like they're in the shotgun now. Hand the ball. Oh, a read option. Xavier Wyatt tackled by 3 Crittenden Cougars. As we've seen, number 14 for the Cougars, Romello Waits, the first one there.
And I feel like the QB for Ella Fitzgerald is kind of an MVP for Ella Fitzgerald, being not only the main guy when it comes to running the ball, and that he's also been the main guy for the toughness for the team, showing the power and showing the effort and trying to win this game.
Yeah, if Ella Fitzgerald do win this game, I do see Xavier Wyatt winning MVP, and also if Crittenden win this game, I can see Zachary Meredith, number 2 for the Crittenden Cougars, being the MVP too, because of the way the quarterbacks have been a main factor in this game.
Yeah, they both have had a heavy dose of carries and kind of been getting them tough yards for their team.
Yes. As we see, it's 3rd and 4. Oh, there's another flag on the field. Encroachment on the defense, which sets up the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz on the 1-yard line. And I think we all know what's coming next.
Yeah, I definitely expect what's better come.
Yeah.
And I expected what's going to come for the defense also, filling up that A-gap and trying to stop the QB from getting inside.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. As the Jazz are getting ready for the snap.
Also wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a false start or an encroachment.
Yeah. We may do see another encroachment here, but looks like another sneak. Oh, he's down. Forgetting about 1, ball, 1-yard line. And I think it's going to be another draw, another QB sneak.
Yeah, I feel like that was a good defensive stop right there by Crittenden. But they got to keep doing it, though. They can't get tired because they're going to do it again.
Timeout, Fitzgerald.
All right, so we have a timeout for the Jazz. You have to think, are the timeouts you're using now, would that be costly? Because if the Cougars are able to get the ball back here, you only have 1 timeout left. So you're not going to be able to stop the clock. So you got to hope for a touchdown here to possibly tie the game up and send this game to maybe overtime if their defense are able to stop them here.
Yeah, especially how this touchdown is only going to let them tie the game unless they get the 2-point conversion. Because if they don't get the 2-point conversion, which is very likely because nobody has gotten a 2-point conversion, Crittenden still has a chance to go downfield and get a touchdown. And then once you get the ball, you don't have a lot of opportunities to stop the clock.
Yeah. So I think both teams know what's coming next. You know, us in the booth, I think we know what's coming next. You know, the crowd knows what's coming next. That patented Ella Fitzgerald QB sneak here. You know, got to see if they're able to push the ball in the end zone. Oh, there's a flag on the field. Encroachment by the Cougars.
Yeah, that's very costly there. That gives them another reset of downs.
Yeah,
that gives them another chance to do it again.
And that pushes the ball like right at the goal line. So, man, that just helps Ella Fitzgerald's chances of scoring. Yep, the QB sneak. QB sneak is getting ready. And he got it, I think. Touchdown, Jazz.
Yeah, right there. They was going to keep doing it over and over until they got in. So now that puts a lot of pressure back on Crittenden. And especially this 2-point conversion. This 2-point conversion is going to be very huge for both teams.
Yeah. Oh, there's a flag on the field. I expect for the 2-point conversion, you know, if the flag is not on the Jazz, I expect them to run another QB sneak. You know, at the 2-yard line, you know. But my thing is, you know, I think the Ella Fitzgerald quarterback stance, you know, Xavier White, you know, he has his leg kind of back. I think that kind of hurts him on the QB sneak a little bit because you see, as soon as he said hike, he's not really able to get as much yards as he can because that leg is so far back and there he's quickly wrapped up. So I think they should bring him up a little bit on that stance there to be able to push the ball back and push the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because I don't think you can push the person behind and push them in there. I don't think you can do that in middle school or high school.
Yeah. But it looks like that flag was on maybe the Jazz here, which sets them back a little bit further. So the QB sneak may not be happening if that flag is on the Jazz. I expect either Shaheem Twitty, number 5 for the Jazz, or number 2, Xavier Wyatt, to run the ball on this 2-point conversion here. Oh, it looks like the flag was on the Cougars. Now, man, now we all know what's coming.
Yeah, we definitely know what's coming right here. And I feel like they desperately need to attack that A gap if I'm Crittenden.
You know, if the Jazz are able to get this 2-point conversion here, that can set him up. And he got it. 14-12. The Jazz are up. Now, if I'm the Cougars, you have to score on this drive coming up. You know, you still have time left. So even if you don't score on this drive coming up, you have to hope for your defense to stop the Jazz so you will get the ball back with a decent amount of time. But this is coming down to the wire. 14-12. The Jazz are looking for their first championship. This is their second time being in the middle school championship. They're looking for this championship here, and we have to see how the remaining 5 minutes and 19 seconds go in this game.
Yeah, definitely. This puts a lot of pressure on Crittenden and forcing them to score. And I don't think either team trusts their kicker, so I feel like they're going to desperately go for that touchdown.
You know, as the Jazz are lining up for the kick. The Cougars' last drive was stopped by a fumble by number 2, Zachary Meredith. You got to be hoping for no turnovers here, but I do expect a heavy dose of number 4, Avion Sneed, this drive. We're here at John B. Ty Stadium, 14-12. Ella Fitzgerald is up. They're playing the Crittenden Cougars, and this is the middle school championship. Oh, that's a good kick. Got to wrap him up here. Oh, he's going back. The Cougars are inside of their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, that was a costly mistake, running backwards, trying to make something out of nothing. But if he just kept with his ran forward, he would have had at least probably been on the 15 or the 19-yard line. But that was a costly mistake right there by the kick returner for the Cougars.
Yes. Now the Cougars are at their 9-yard line. Gotta hope for some big plays to get them out of this position. You know, like I said, I expect a heavy dose of Avion Sneed here for the Cougars. You know, run. That's what I think is going to happen this drive. But the Jazz defense has been doing a great job of keeping him contained almost. You know, he only had one big run, and that was in the first quarter. But they've been doing a great job as the direct snap. But it's immediately tackled for a gain of about maybe 1. That's a great tackle, you know.
Yeah, they're starting to assume what's coming, especially with the direct snaps. They're attacking whatever gap he goes to. And that's a great defensive play call right there by Ella Fitzgerald.
I like the way that their defensive line is set up, kind of, because you know you have Big 75 out there at DN. You know that's. Kennard Carrollton. You have Kennard Carrollton on the outside, you know, then put number 48, Nathaniel Morris on the inside lineup at that 3-tech, 1-tech. So I really like this defensive setup they got going on here. You know, they kind of mix of speed and power.
Yeah, they put speed also in the D tackle position, putting 15 in that area.
Oh, number 3 drops the ball. You know, number 2, Zakari Meredith, has been looking to feed him the football, but number 3 looks like to be Zamir Ellie has just not been able to haul in these passes.
Yeah, that was a crucial catch he has to make right there, because that would have possibly put them closer to that first down marker.
Yes. Now we have to see what the Cougars are going to do here at 3rd and 9. I expect run, but they may fool me with a pass. You know,
as they have both 2 wide receivers on both sides.
He hit as he throw, intercepted by the Jazz. He looks to return it. Intercepted by the Jazz.
Yeah, that was clutch right there by number 1 for the the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. That was crucial. That was a good way to predict where the ball was going, reading the QB's eyes, intercepting that ball. That was a great play right there.
Looks like he tried to get the ball to, looks like, I think it was number 1. No, I believe it was number 5, Jamari Hardy. I believe he tried to get the ball there, but a great read by number 1, Jabari Jackson, at that safety position to close in on the football and intercept it. Now, the Jazz are set up in great field position. They're in the red zone, and we all know what's coming. They're about to run the football. It's like Avion Sneed. Oh, looks to be a lot going on. Gotta have discipline here. This is not what you want to see in this championship game, you know. You know, this is about competitiveness. I understand this is a competitive sport, but you gotta have discipline. Can't be fighting your coaches here. You know, you gotta show respect. Gotta show discipline.
And right now, it's looking like Ella Fitzgerald is winning the mentality and the emotions battle right now, which is another spot that's kind of underrated in the sport of football or sport in general. where you gotta maintain your emotions and not let the other team get the best of you.
Yes, and that there is a flag. There is a flag on the field as well for his little outburst he has going on. So that sets up Ella Fitzgerald in great field position. But that's not what you're supposed to have here. Your star player. I get that you want this championship. This football is very competitive, but you can't lash out on players, can't lash out on your teammates, can't lash out on your coaches. You got to be respectful, got to have discipline. Hard fought, but that's not what you're supposed to have here.
But yeah, that penalty right there can possibly end the game. Also, by the wherever the field, wherever the ball is going to be at on the field, as that could possibly put them inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, that's costly. Like I said, gotta have discipline. Gotta be able to be coachable. That's not what you want to have here in this game, but he's going to the locker room. Number 4, Avion Sneed, possibly done for the whole game. But the game's still not over, though.
Yeah, there's still 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go. A costly turnover can definitely turn the tide of this game. But as it's looking and depending on where the spot of the ball is going to be, it's all in favor. Looking like Ella Fitzgerald might come away with it, possibly.
Yeah, I say you gotta if the Cougars are able to play great defense here and get a stop, the Cougars still in the game. This is a 1-score game, down by 2. Game not over yet, but there's a flag so that you will be pushing the Jazz up a little bit more, but you got to be able to stop this QB sneak that they're running. And this has been a great game for the Jazz.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they do it right here because as they're spotting it at the 3-yard line. So, yeah, they're going to most likely do it again.
Yes. Gotta hope for great defense here for the Cougars. But the Jazz are looking to punch their ticket to their first championship here today if they're able to score here and shut down the Cougars in the remaining time left. If they score here and they're able to convert on that 2-point conversion, that's possibly game. And it looks like touchdown by the Jazz. Now you have to stop the Jazz on this 2-point conversion. If you're able to stop them, then you're still in play in this game.
Yeah, that was a good touch push right there by Ella Fitzgerald, being able to use their power and also you taking advantage of the field position that was given to them by Crittenden Cougars outburst. So I feel like right here, if they get this 2-point conversion, it's gonna be a very low chance of Crittenden getting the chance to win this game. And it's gonna take a touchdown, possibly if they get this 2-point conversion, another touchdown for them to come back.
Yeah, this has been a very hard-fought game. And number 5, Shaheem Twitty is tackled.
Oh.
The Cougars are still in this game. You got to remember that all they need is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They're still in this game. So, 3 minutes and 31 seconds left. 20-12. You have to hope for a touchdown here in a 2-point conversion to send this game to possibly overtime.
And also another thing, they still have majority of their timeouts. I think they only use 1 timeout. So they still have a very decent chance of coming back and getting this game. They get the 2-point conversion and the touchdown.
Yes. We had to see how the Cougars do without their star player, Avion Sneed. Had to see what they can do. Had to see what are they capable of doing, But Zachary Meredith, a costly mistake last drive, but he's still been a key factor in this game. So he's looking to be one of the big factors in this upcoming drive. You know, their last kick return put the Cougars inside the 10-yard line. Gotta hope for a good kick return here.
Yeah, and that's kind of what set the team back. So I feel like if the kick returner can run forward and get some more yards, I feel like that will put him in a decent field position to get a chance for him to score.
Yes. As the Jazz are lining up for the kick. Jazz kicks the ball off. Looks like it's a kick out of bounds. No, that is look like they are calling the flag for the free kick out of bounds. You know, I didn't see the flag fly out on the last free kick out of bounds, but I did see the flag get thrown out here. That does set the Cougars. It should be, sets the Cougars at the 35-yard line. So you're in good field position. You know, this is not a time to panic. You still have 3 minutes and 31 seconds left of this fourth quarter, and you're still in chance to put up a touchdown and convert the two-point conversion.
Yeah, I feel like they could definitely stick to what their offense has been so far, which has been running the football and managing the clock, because they have the timeouts when needed, and there's really no need to rush. Honestly, it just puts a little bit more pressure because you have to get that two-point conversion after you score.
Yes. As the Cougars throws the ball here on a little wide receiver screen, and the Jazz with a quick tackle. That sets the Cougars back a little bit further. If I'm the Cougars, you may want to try for a big shot down the field. You cannot. That screen was kind of costly here. I know they're blitzing, but you could find a mismatch to where you just throw the ball deep down the field and possibly come up with a big catch.
Yeah, right here, I feel like this is where mismatches could really work right here. Especially being able to stretch the ball downfield. They have trips to their left side. I feel like they could possibly do a quick little inside route or outside route.
Yeah.
Get a chance to further the field position.
I see. Looks like the Jazz are playing a little cover one here, you know, as they had one safety high. But just this Jazz defense has been playing great.
Yeah, especially the D-line. They was able to get through instant pressure right there. As soon as he caught the ball from the snap, he saw people in his face. So I feel like for Crittenden's side, they definitely need to intensify up that offensive line, and that pass protect needs to be in check.
Yeah, you know, all their plays here has been passing. I expect passing to keep going for the Cougars, you know, because you have to put the ball in the end zone here. But if I'm the Cougars, I'll probably maybe try to do a little misdirection, you know, probably run a post for your inside guy, and then run maybe a kind of a fly for the outside guy to try to draw off the safety, that one high safety in the middle, to at least have a chance to at least come up with a big play. You know, as there's a timeout for the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz. That'll be their last timeout of the game. We have to see, can this Jazz defense keep playing as good as they are to win this game?
Also, the Jazz defense has been pretty simplified, whether it's going to be a blitz with no safeties or a blitz or simple man coverage with one safety. Pretty simplified defense, and they've been still finding ways to stop it. It's just been matchup differences and getting a chance to just one player is overtaking the other one.
Yeah, you know. I think this is just being a well-experienced coach in this championship game. You know, this is second year head coaching this Ella Fitzgerald football team. You know, made it to the championship last season, but wasn't able to come up with the victory. But now he is ready to hold that championship trophy. Drops back. Oh, and he's sacked. Zakari Meredith is sacked. And 4th and 18. 4th and 25. 2 minutes left to go in the quarter. You're hoping for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, huge credit right there by number 15, the small fella who's playing D tackle. Great way to instantly get pressure through that A gap and tackling him to put him all the way to 4th down and 25. And also for this Crittenden O-line, I feel like they're starting to get tired, and that's being very costly to them.
Yeah, I think having that last shot by Snead there may have lowered the morale of the team. May have made them kind of dwindle down. But you still got to know you still have a fighting chance. It's 4th and 25. You can't stop fighting. But yeah, if you turn the ball over here, have one timeout left. The Jazz can run up. Jazz will have to get a first down in order for this game to be over. So, but let's see if the Cougars can come out with a miracle here for 4th and 25. As the Cougars are lining up for what could possibly be their last play of the game.
Or last play of their drive.
I don't know, but this could possibly be the last play of the game if they're not able to get a first down here. And Meredith breaks off few. Oh my gosh. If he was able to stay up, that could have possibly been a touchdown.
Yeah, that could have been awful. That could be that could have been a first down right there if he was able to break a couple more tackles. A great effort right there by the QB, but great way to finish it off by Ella Fitzgerald.
Now, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Excuse me.
I seem like you're more excited to talk about it.
No, I'm just excited. That was a great run. I thought he was gonna flick it back.
Yeah, I was thinking he was gonna flick it back too because he has a couple people behind him, so I thought he was gonna flick it back also.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna hit a little pitch.
Yeah, on some NFL street stuff. But that was a great tackle right there by Ella Fitzgerald, and now they can use ball control to maintain possession of the ball and get a chance to win this game.
Yeah, if the Jazz get a first down here, game could be a wrap. The Cougars have one timeout left. They're going to use it after this first play right here, but yeah, Jazz get a first down. All you need to do, kneel the clock out, and you're coming home with your first middle school championship. As you kneel the ball here, timeout. A timeout will be possibly used. Oh no, I don't think the Cougars are going to use a timeout here. Yeah, they're just going to let the game clock run out on this game. What a well-fought game by both teams. The Jazz came in hot, scoring the first touchdown of the game after a long drive. But the Cougars came off with a first play touchdown by their running back, number 4, Avion Snead. But then it's been all Xavier Wyatt and Shaheem Twitty for that Jazz offense, putting up 3 touchdowns. Xavier Wyatt, I believe, should be player of the game because of the way he's been playing this game. EJ, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, first half, it was looking like Crittenden, even though it was going to be a tight game, I feel like Crittenden had a slight edge. But this game really is a tale of why discipline is one of the more important factors of your football team and how successful it could possibly be. Because it was a tale of emotions. Both teams had a lot of penalties and stuff. But as adversity was hit and as Ella Fitzgerald was down, they still kept the confidence and they still was there, and they didn't let up. And as it was cracking down for Crittenden, emotions were starting to flare up, and it was starting to conflict with others. So great game by Ella Fitzgerald, and a nice way to get their first one after last year's loss.
Yeah, like I said, discipline has to be a key factor. I respect both teams here for fighting their hearts out. Both teams been playing a great game. Both teams been doing all that they can. Um, this game with 50 seconds left on the clock. The Cougars did use a timeout here. I expect there's going to be another kneel down, but his game could possibly not be over though. Maybe throw a little Hail Mary. But yeah, you gotta have discipline. It's been very disciplined so far. I seen number 55 for the Cougars, shaking everybody's hand on the offensive line, saying good game. So that is great because these kids are going to be growing up together. They're going to be going to school together or possibly going to opposing schools, but building these relationships on the field with people that you're going to be playing against these next 4 years of your life, maybe 5, 6 years. If you're 6th grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. I mean, my fault. 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Excuse me. But yeah, going to be playing with these kids for the remainder of your school eligibility. So yeah, this is great for the both programs.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is, Crittenden still has a chance to win this game. It's 6 seconds on the clock. Something could possibly happen. Can't rule anything out.
Well, we have to see. I don't know. This could be like it was last year. A little Hail Mary and last second touchdown. 6 seconds left. If the Cougars don't come up with something here, then that would be game over. I expect the blitz to come. As we see, the Jazz are lining people up deep to try to prevent another deep play touchdown, like how last year ended. So, 5 seconds. Meredith drops back, throws a little screen route. You have to flick it back. No, he's tackled, and that is game. Your Ella Fitzgerald Jazz are the middle school champions. What an accomplishment for the Jazz. They come in here and beat the undefeated Crittenden Cougars.
Yeah, that was a great game by Ella Fitzgerald, and I feel like for Crittenden, he had a chance to go undefeated, and they came up short in the last game. And I feel like this could be a learning factor also for the future of these kids and also the program for an emotional standpoint and a discipline standpoint. But great game by Ella Fitzgerald, making a revenge from last year, and watch them be back next year.
Yeah, both teams play their heart out here. Both teams came in here to fight for the championship. Great props to this Ella Fitzgerald defense. Great props to the Ella Fitzgerald offense, and great props to the Cougars offense and defense. They've been fighting very hard. Both quarterbacks put their all in this game. Xavier Wyatt, number 2 for the Jazz, and number 2 Zakari Meredith. Very hard fought. As we see the teams shaking hands in the middle after a very accomplished game.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Ella Fitzgerald's quarterback should definitely be the MVP of the game.
Yeah, as we see the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz, they're coming together. They're getting ready to hoist that trophy. But yeah, this has been a very hard-fought game out here in John B. Todd Stadium. The Jazz win the game against the Crittenden Cougars 20-12. Thanks for allowing me and EJ to be commentators for this game. And I very appreciate Mr. Price for letting us do this today. So EJ, got any final words?
Hey, I catch y'all next year. Well, then another middle school season down the books. Good season to both of them. Both had well accomplished seasons, and can't wait to see it next year.
Yeah. So I'm Bishop Dunn,
Now Edgar Jones.
and we'll see you guys next time on another broadcast at John B. Todd Stadium. Take care.
Hey, one other player on that list, right? Yeah, run it down. You got one of y'all on that list. Favorite coach I've been with all my career. I told you we were really good. It is cold out here. Back up, fellas, back up. 220. Don't set me up. Hey, I better not break it. Hey, some broke there. We're not breaking off. All right, come on. That's right. Don't break it. Don't break that. Oh, you will. You break it, you running 2 laps. Hey, players. Everybody get in the picture. Come on, Nate. Let's get cheering here. Get cheering here. Get cheering. Hey, cheerleaders. Cheerleaders. Y'all come in the front. No, Nate, stand up. I'm trying to lay down. No, we ain't I gotta get out of here.
Okay.
Too bad.